So you understand what we are going to talk. We are going to talk about a newer technology we are going to use for the purpose of multiple access technique for 5G, and this is NOMA, non-orthogonal multiple access. Okay. Now let us understand where is the variation, where is the division. We understand. See, when you really talk about the multiple access technique used so far, you know, FDMA, TDMA, CDMA, hybrid, a combination of these, or FDMA, something like this. Okay, so let us understand what is really going to happen is, when you talk about FDMA, see, if you take this side as the frequency and you take this side as the time, in FDMA we are going to have division something like this. We know. See, these are well known to us. See, when you talk about TDMA, you understand we are going to have the same block. And in this same block, now the division, this is time and this is frequency. So we are going to have division something like this. Okay. When you talk about the CDMA, we know we are going to allocate the whole frequency to the user, and we are going to allocate the whole duration of time to the user, but we are going to have division. See, what is the basic purpose of any multiple access technique is that we want to distinguish users. Very clearly, there should not be any confusion. Okay, so on this, what we have decided is that we are going to have division on the basis of the code, and we are going to add another dimension here. So you understand, this is the dimension we have added for CDMA, and this is the code domain. We know this is the frequency domain, we know this is the time domain. We have not made any division in frequency domain and time domain for CDMA. Complete frequency for the whole duration of time is allocated to one user, but users are differentiated on the basis of the codes we have assigned to them. This is the basic thing, we know. But we want to depart from this orthogonal multiple access technique. Why it is orthogonal, all of you understand, because once you are going to allocate this frequency to one user, and you are going to allocate this frequency to another user, because these two users are going to operate on two different frequencies, there will not be any interference between them. Automatically, orthogonal multiple access technique is going to take care of the interference management. We don't need any interference management here. When you are going to allocate different times, there will be no interference. When you are going to allocate on different codes, there will be no interference. So basically, they do not really demand any kind of interference management. This is the very basic thing related to the orthogonal multiple access technique, and so far we have used this. But for 5G, it has been considered that once you are going to use this, you will be limited in number of users. You understand? See, if you have divided this in number of times, let us say you have divided in n number of times, that means at one particular point of time, you can support n number of users only. If n plus 1 user is going to come into the system, this will be denied the service because no frequency band is left for this. Exactly the same way this is going to happen. If there are n number of codes and more than n users are going to come, see, the n plus 1 user, the first user, is going to be denied the service because we are limited number. Okay. NOMA says that theoretically there is no limitation on the number of users you can support. And how it is going to function, let us understand. Let us take any case. Let us say we are going to talk about this particular case. When you talk about this particular case, we can represent this something like this. See, this is okay, I'll use this place. See, let us say, when you take about any one of the case, let us say this is the scale, this is one of the axis, this is another axis, and you can say that simply we are going to make allocation something like this. जैसे मान लीजिए हमने कहा इसको टाइम रखा था, but anyway, no problem for our understanding. Let us say this is time and this is frequency. It is all the same, does not matter. What I really want to say is, users are going to be assigned different frequencies. ठीक है? Okay, इस टाइम को भी हटा दीजिए आप, सिर्फ आप फ्रीक्वेंसी रख लीजिए इसी डोमेन में. Okay, let us say we are just going to consider about the frequency. We will just take the reference of this. अलग अलग फ्रीक्वेंसी दिखाई दे रहा है सब बैंड का. Here we are going to say that these blocks are going to represent different frequency bands for different users. Now what we are going to do, see, in case of the orthogonal multiple access technique, when using frequency division multiple access, see, this one is going to be allocated to how many users? One. See, this is going to be allocated to another user 1, this is allocated to one user, this is allocated to one user, and this is how the number of divisions are going to create the limitation on the number of users. This is the concept of NOMA. In NOMA, what we do, if this is the frequency allocated to one user, now we are going to permit this frequency to be allocated to n number of users. We are going to allocate this frequency to n number of users, n number of users, n number of users. So what is the difference? Difference is, let us say in the first case, we have taken this division to support 4 users. Now we are going to take this division to support 4 multiplied by n number of users. Things are there to understand here, but primarily there are number of users we can support, since you can call this as resource block. Frequency is a resource, time is a resource, power is a resource. So when you say this as the frequency is a resource, so you can say this small chunk of the frequency is a resource block. In case of OMA, one resource block is allocated to one and only one user. But in case of NOMA, we are going to allocate the same resource block to more than one number of users. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as much as is possible by the interference management technique. Okay. So one thing is clear, that now the capacity is not limited to the number of divisions. You can realize any number of any amount of capacity. But this capacity is going to depend on what? You understand, when you are going to allocate the same resource chunk to more than one user, it is going to create interference. You know this. See, when we are going to apply NOMA, we very well understand if the same resource chunk is going to be given to more than one user, they are going to create interference. We know very well. And we have not used this concept so far, although this concept is known for many, many years. We have not used this because we wanted to avoid the complexity. Once interference is going to take place, the design is going to be complex, because you have to provide a mechanism that will minimize or almost eliminate the interference between them. Okay, but now we have taken this challenge in NOMA. What NOMA does, we permit the interference to take place, and naturally interference will take place, but we provide a mechanism such that interference can be eliminated. Now you understand, if we are able to include this possibility that we can eliminate the interference, that means we can multifold the capacity of the same scheme. This is alright? This is what the basic concept of NOMA. Okay. And now, in order to understand this basic concept, it is very important for us that how this is being implemented, we need to understand. In order to know how it is being implemented, see, we are going to study in successive steps. Successive steps means, see, I have taken one example here. See, let us say we have taken 3 cells. We can have n number of cells. Okay. What we have done is, we have chosen one cell. This is the base station antenna in this particular cell. We have chosen one cell and we have assumed n number of users here. If you want to simplify this case, see, we can complicate this case to any amount. But you can simplify this case. If you want to simplify this case, what will be the simpler option? Simpler option is, see, first thing, in place of number of cells, we have considered single cell. Very simple ho gaya. Single cell, in this single cell, we have considered n number of users. If you want to simplify this, you can just consider 2 users, that's it. That means, if we want to study the implementation of NOMA, then we have to start with the concept that cell is 1 and number of users are 2. That's it. This is the most simple case. And let me tell you, so far, when you study the literature today related to NOMA, you will find that almost 80% of the literature related to NOMA is going to be considering this only, this case, when single cell 2 users. After considering single cell 2 users, in downlink they are going to consider in uplink. So likewise, if they want to complicate the process, so you understand, the very next step is what? This is the first and the most simple case. The next case can be, we are going to consider cell is 1, but the users are n, number of users, ये वाला केस हो गया, ठीक है? इसके बाद अगर हम implement करना चाहते हैं थोड़ी सी complexity को, then let us say we are going to consider number of cells are not 1, it is multi-cell, ठीक है? Multi-cell, and then in every cell we are going to consider 2 users. Further, if you want to improve the performance of NOVA system in overall scenario, then you can consider this number of multi-cell and the number of users can be n, something like this. So you understand, successively we can increase the complexity, but let us understand one thing very well. Implementation of NOMA involves complexity. There is no doubt. Either you talk of the first case or you talk of the last case. It involves complexity. It depends on us how much complexity we can tolerate while we are going to design the system. Okay, accordingly, yes please.
सर हम लोग बोल रहे हैं सर यहाँ पे हम लोग कैपेसिटी बढ़ा रहे हैं सर
Yes.
नंबर ऑफ यूजर यूज करके सर कैपेसिटी बी इनटू लॉग ऑफ 1 प्लस ऑफ SINR सर
Yes.
तो सर अगर नंबर ऑफ मतलब लोग डेटा रेट हाई कर दें सर उससे कैपेसिटी कैसे हाई होगा क्योंकि बैंडविड्थ तो फिक्स किया हुआ है सर या फिर SINR हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते
Okay, good. Sit down please. See, first I would like to address his question. This is going to give further clarity on our further discussion. Okay. See, he says that if you want to increase the data rate, bandwidth is not changing. He says, then how the data rate is going to increase? Because SNR is not improving. That's what he says. ये बात कही आपने? See, both of the things are going to happen here. Bandwidth is going to increase, first thing. Secondly, the SNR is going to improve. Both the things are going to take place. And you understand, when bandwidth is going to increase and SNR is going to improve, that means capacity is going to be higher, there is no doubt. This is the fundamental rule. And you think both of them are not going to increase, but both of them are going to increase. But how we will discuss about this? See, first of all, let us understand, when you talk about the bandwidth is not increasing, you say that in the previous case, the same bandwidth was given to one user. Now in case of NOMA, the same bandwidth is going to be given to n number of users. So you understand, the size of the bandwidth remains the same, but in terms of the bandwidth utilization, it is going to be n-fold higher. So that means bandwidth is increased by n times. There is no doubt in this. First thing is that when you say that interference, the SINR is not changing, but it is changing. And this is the prime objective of NOMA, because NOMA permits interference to take place and it allows mechanism to mitigate the interference. So when you understand, when you are going to reduce the amount of interference, that means we are going to again improve the SNR condition, and when SINR condition is going to improve, it is going to lead to the higher capacity. So both of them are going to be like this. Okay. So now let us understand, I say, we are going to talk about this situation, one after the other. Simplistic case, one cell, two users, and likewise we know how we can complicate. What we are going to consider now is, we are going to consider single cell with n number of users. We are going to start but afterwards we will see single cell with two users, we will see in downlink as well as in uplink. But for a very general case, single cell and n number of users. Now let us understand, when you say this is a single cell and there are n number of users, and you understand this is the distance between this is the distance between this is the distance. So based on the distance, you can understand the channel conditions will be different for all of them. And this individual one is going to indicate the channel gain of this particular channel between base station to this user. Likewise, each one of them is going to indicate some channel gain. Individual users are going to experience individual channel gains because of the distance between, because of the location they are going to be placed at. Is all right? Now let us understand, the biggest challenge in downlink NOMA for base station is to understand how much power should be given to which user. If there are 4 users, okay, we have the total power limitation. And base station has to decide how much power is to be given to user 1, how much to user 2, and likewise. This is the biggest challenge at the base station. Okay. So what base station does is, it looks at the channel conditions. That means it is going to look at this. It is going to look at this particular channel gain. Looking at the channel gain, base station is going to allocate the power out of the total power constraint. When it has already allocated power to all of them, then the base station is going to perform the process of coding. And then it is going to combine all of them together and transmitting the signal. And this is what is known as superposition coding. So you understand, in the process of superposition coding, the very first thing is that base station will look into the channel conditions of each one of them. After looking at the channel conditions, it will decide how much power should be given to one user, and then it is going to encode the transmission between the one user, all the users. It is going to combine, and then it is going to transmit as a composite signal. This is the total process the base station has to take. Okay, so now let us understand, in order to know this, I have said that I have taken a general case where one cell and n number of users. Okay, so let us say the users are 1, UI and n number of users. Is all right? Now corresponding to this, we need to identify certain more things. See, every user is going to have some kind of the channel conditions as we have discussed there. Is all right? So basically you say user 1, it is going to have channel condition H1. Okay, and now what is important is, as I have said right now, base station has to look into the channel condition and then it has to allocate the amount of power for individual user. So you know, see, this is the user 1 and we are going to consider here that user 1 is the farthest user. If you say that this is the base station and this is the farthest user from the, in terms of the distance from the base station, then this is user 1. And the last user, user n, is the closest user. This is what is our assumption. So you understand, when the farthest user we are going to consider, that means it is going to have the lowest channel condition, because the distance is very high, the channel condition will be low, and which is closest to this, that means the channel condition will be the best channel condition out of all the users. Okay, so what we have done is we have considered U1 is the farthest user and we have total number of n users in the system in one particular cell. Corresponding to every user, we are going to signify the channel conditions. This is the channel condition for this, something like this. Now, what base station does, we have already repeated 2 times. Base station looks at the channel condition and decides how much power is to be given to user. For this, see, total amount of power, let us say, see, total amount of power at the base station is P. And this power has to be divided among all the users, depending on the channel condition. So let us say, this is the fraction of power. अगर 4 यूजर हमारे पास हैं, okay, let us say each user is going to be allocated 1/4 of the total amount of power. That means B1 is 0.25, 0.25, something like this. So this is the fraction of the total power allocated to every user. Okay. So when you see these are the fraction of the power, so when you are going to club them all together, it should be equal to just 1. All the fractions, when you are going to combine together, must result into the total amount of power. So this is 1. Okay, here we have assumed that, because we have assumed this is the farthest one and this is the closest one, so these are the channel conditions. So this is going to lead to this situation. This is weakest channel condition because this is the farthest one, and this is the highest channel condition because this is at the closest to the base station. And likewise, and definitely channel is not negative, it is not 0, it is going to indicate some amount of gain. Channel gain जिसको हम कहते हैं, channel gain, see, let us not say that channel gain, what does it really means is, whenever you are going to transmit something and when you receive this, you will always find that this signal received is going to be smaller than this. Then you can say this is negative, but this is not negative. When we are going to make calculation, we are always going to take the square of the channel condition. So it is not going to be negative. So it is not negative, it is always a positive quantity. So we understand this will be something like this. Okay. ये channel conditions हमने माना है and we are going to align like this. Yes?
Sir, fractional power PI होगा ना?
Fractional power is PI. Okay, and what is PI? PI is basically the total amount of power multiplied with the fraction we are going to decide for one particular user. Okay, and see, let us understand, ये जो बिल्कुल clear हो गया, क्योंकि जिसका distance जितना ज़्यादा होगा, channel conditions उसका उतना ही poor होगा, and this has been ordered in the exactly the same way. Now this we have understood. When you combine all the fractions, it must be equal to 1, and when you talk about the power allocated to one individual user, this is PI, and this is a combination of the fraction of the power allocated to this and the total amount of power. This we have understood. Okay. Now, when you look at the power, how much power is allocated to which one, then it is going to be something like this. You know, because which is going to have the weakest channel condition will be assigned the maximum amount of power. This is what is the rule we are going to follow in case of superposition coding when we want to apply NOVA. So this is the poorest channel condition, the fraction of power, this is the fraction, and finally the power allocated is PI, for this one, Pi, okay, and when you align them together, then you will find that this P1, the farthest one is going to get the maximum power and the closest one is going to get the minimum power. See, all these lines are clear now. Okay, now let us understand what we are going to do in case of normal. Yes, please.
सर ये बेस स्टेशन को कैसे पता चलता है कि कौन सा एरिया दूर है कौन सा पास है?
Okay, see, we need to understand how base station really knows that which user is having what channel condition. Can you guess? कैसे पता चलेगा? Base station has a very proper mechanism to know about this, but can you guess?
Power radiated by the
Yes?
power radiated by the user.
Power related by the user.
Radiated by the
Radiate? No, not power radiated. It is not. Yes? Channel state condition. See, what is really going to happen is, see, this is the base station which is going to transmit the power. Okay, and this is the mobile phone user, let us say. Now, your question is how this base station knows what is the channel condition here. This is your question? Okay. See, in the communication system, what is going to happen is that it transmits and it is going to receive. Let us say, after it is receiving, it is able to understand what was the channel condition. Once it knows the channel condition, then it is going to feed it back to this. And this is known as channel state information. And this is always going to be there at the base station, being transmitted by the mobile phone as a feedback to this. Okay, please know this is my channel condition. This is how it is happening. But you will say, how it knows its own channel condition? It does not know what was transmitted, then how you can say that this is the channel condition? How does it know? Can you guess? See, first thing is that this knows the channel condition of individual users because the individual user is going to report its own channel condition to the base station. This is the mechanism by which the base station knows. My question is, how the mobile phone knows that this is my channel condition? Because it does not know what was transmitted, it only knows this is the received. It does not know what is transmitted. See, once you know what is transmitted and once you know this is received, you can make a difference between these two and you can understand this is the loss due to the channel and this is going to indicate the channel condition. But it only knows what is received. तो देखिए, अगर मान लीजिए ट्रांसमिटेड हमें पता है, लॉस हमें पता है, और तो हमें पता चल जाता है कि रिसीव्ड. It knows only received. And it is going to report about this. And he does not know this. How it is possible? See, there is a complete branch. And this is channel estimation. And even wireless communication, there is one complete subject, I would say, detection and estimation. What it is going to talk about, it is going to detect the signal at the receiver, and based on the detected signal, it is going to make an estimation. Estimation of what? Estimation of two things. One is the channel condition, and one is the amount contained in the received signal. Okay, so let us understand. This is going to report this, based on it is going to receive this, and where from it is going to get this information. This is the required information for us. If this knows this, and this knows this, there is no problem. ये तो पता चल ही जाएगा. लेकिन ये तो ये बता दे रहा है, इसके बिना मालूम हुए. This is the problem. But let us understand. You have already heard the name of pilot symbols. What we do, what we are going to do is, let us say you are going to transmit a signal something like this. Okay. See, you transmit a signal something like this. Okay. A very specific case of OFDMA, where one side we have the frequency domain, other side we have the time domain. When you transmit this, see, in between some place you are going to embed pilots. When you transmit the pilot, the modulation scheme used in the pilot, the level of the transmission power used in the pilot is already known both the sides. Okay. So when it is going to receive the pilots, it is going to receive the complete set. Okay. And it is going to receive the pilot as well. And looking at the pilot, it knows that pilot was supposed to be transmitted at this power level, and now I am receiving the pilot at this particular level. So it is able to make out what the distinction, what the difference has taken place in the pilot, and based on this, it can make an estimation that other signals have also definitely undergone the same kind of the change in the channel. And the pilot, embedding pilot into the signal makes one basis for the estimation of the channel. Based on this, it is going to make the estimation of the channel and it is going to report back to this. And this is the normal mechanism we are going to follow. So base station knows what is the channel condition for one user, for one specific user, and based on the channel condition it is going to make a allocation of the power. Based on the fraction, based on this the fraction is going to be decided. This is all right? Now let us understand.
एक चीज इसी में थोड़ा सा
Yes please.
सारी तो एक चीज पूछना चाह रहा था, जैसे ये बेस स्टेशन है, यूजर को मतलब ये बेस स्टेशन को डिफरेंट यूजर से जो
Yes.
पावर मिल रहा है, ठीक है सर। अब ये बेस स्टेशन ये कैसे पता करता है कि जो पावर आ रहा है ये किस यूजर से, ये किस यूजर से, ये किस यूजर से?
Okay, very good. See, if these are the doubts in your mind, we should not really proceed unless we clarify the doubts. This is a very fundamental doubt in his mind. Maybe many of you know the answer, but I would like to give the answer to this. See, his question was how receiver knows, how base station knows, we have understood. But again, his question is, एक बार फिर से बोलिए अपना सवाल.
मतलब जैसे बेस स्टेशन है तो उसको डिफरेंट
Okay,
यूजर से पावर मिल
see,
रहा है।
good, I have understood, I could recollect your question. See, again, his question is, how the base station knows that this is coming from this individual user.
Yes, sir.
एक क्वेश्चन है,
हाँ, ठीक है।
आप बताइए कैसे बेसिक, बहुत सिंपल मैकेनिज्म है एंड वी आर वेरी मच अवेयर ऑफ दिस. बेस स्टेशन को कैसे पता चलेगा कि लेट अस से दिस इज द सेल, ओके, एंड दिस इज द बेस स्टेशन and there are n number of users, okay, it is transmitting some information, it is transmitting some information, it is transmitting some information. How base station knows that this is this user, this is this user individually, how does it really identify?
सर मे बी फीडबैक में इंफॉर्मेशन होता होगा यूजर।
फीडबैक में कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है यूजर का, no information in the feedback related to user. See, user is simply going to feedback. देखिए, two things are going to be transmitted from the user to the base station. One is the amount of information, the information what I really want to share with somebody, it will go to the base station, and at the same time it is trying to transmit, it is going to give the feedback related to the channel condition. Two things are the most important thing that is going to be transmitted. Okay, now your question is how base station is able to identify individual users. कैसे इसको पता चलेगा कि ये सिग्नल इसी यूजर से आया है, ये सिग्नल इसी यूजर से आया है? ये तो सवाल है ना आपका, कैसे बताइए, थोड़ा सोचिए आप. See, it is such a simple mechanism, such a simple mechanism, we are all aware. लेकिन ये प्रॉब्लम वैसा ही हो गया कि अगर आप IAS के इंटरव्यू में चले जाएं और आपसे इंटरव्यू बोर्ड ने पूछा कि व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर, ऑलमोस्ट ऐसा ही सिचुएशन है. अब सबको आंसर पता है, लेकिन क्वेश्चन इतना सिंपल है, आइए प्लीज, क्वेश्चन इतना सिंपल है कि हो सकता है आपके दिमाग में आंसर नहीं आ रहा है. How base station knows this is this particular user?
सर वो सब्सक्राइबर आइडेंटिटी जो रहता है उसके थ्रू?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, वहां तक हमें जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. We don't really need to go to that place. See, what we are going to study, what we are studying and what we have been studying so far. Multiple access technique we know. What is multiple access technique? See, multiple access technique has just one objective, that base station must be able to access all the users simultaneously, and at the same time it should be able to distinctly identify this is this user, this is this user. So when you use frequency division multiple access technique, you know on different frequency chunks different users will be identified. On TDMA, CDMA, something like this, users are very clearly identified. And let us understand, once user will not be identified, it will become impossible to make the communication in mobile communication, because what you need is, see, there is a cell here, okay, and let us say there is another cell here, just for our understanding. There is one user here, let us say this user is in Ranchi, okay, and there is another cell here, and let us say this user is in Delhi. Delhi नहीं, मैं पटना बोलूंगा क्योंकि आपसे कई बार मेरे फोन पे बात हुई है, ठीक है. Let us say this user is in Patna, okay, and when this wants to communicate to this, what is important? It is important that both the base stations, उसके बीच में BSC और MSC आता है, उनको भूल जाइए, that it should be very clearly able to identify this information has come from this user, okay, and this information has to go to this particular user into the other cell. वो सारा का सारा सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट करेगा. It is this base station is going to receive the composite signal, and out of this composite signal, based on the multiple access technique we have used, it is going to separate the signals for different users. And based on the multiple access technique, the signals are going to go to the to different users, and it goes to exactly the same user. क्रॉस टॉक कुछ साल पहले तक बहुत होता था, अभी क्रॉस टॉक बहुत कम हो गया है. You understand? But crosstalk will be a situation where you know that this is the multiple access technique we are using, and I am identifying this user as per the multiple access technique I have used, but this identification is wrong and it is going to lead into the crosstalk situation. But avoid the crosstalk situation. Just eliminate this. Understand, it is not crosstalk. That means every user, either you talk at the transmitting end or you talk at the receiving end, is very clearly identified by the base station with the help of multiple access technique. ठीक है? आगे बढ़ने के पहले मैं आपके सवाल का जवाब देता हूं. मैं आपका इंतजार कर रहा था एक्चुअली. कल आपने क्या सवाल पूछा था नोवा से रिलेटेड? देखिए, अगर आप अपना सवाल भूल गए होंगे तो कोई परेशानी नहीं है, मैं रिपीट करा याद करा दूंगा. देखिए, आपने सवाल एक पूछा था कि basic, before proceeding further, it is important for us to give the answer of this question also. Okay, if base station is going to allocate different amount of powers to the different users based on the channel condition. This is all right. And let us imagine a situation that two users are at the same in the same channel condition, very close by, and they are not having channel conditions different. What can be done? तो मेरा जवाब क्या था, आपको याद है? किसी को याद है?
इस पे रिसर्च की जरूरत
यस,
इस पे रिसर्च की जरूरत
हाँ, इस पे रिसर्च की जरूरत है. ये मैंने जवाब दिया था, लेकिन जब मैंने वो जवाब दिया मैं संतुष्ट नहीं था अपने जवाब से. तो कल मैंने काफी कुछ जानने की कोशिश की. इवन मेरे ऑन डॉक्यूमेंट में मैंने देखा कि इसके बारे में जवाब मैं पहले से लिख चुका हूं, कल मुझे ध्यान में नहीं आया था. ठीक है. सी, लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड, देयर आर टू डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ नोमा सिचुएशन. वन इज, सी, जिस नोमा की हम बात कर रहे हैं, प्रॉब्लम नहीं पे आ रहा है ना. Two users are going to be in the same state with the same channel conditions, and it is going to be difficult for the base station to differentiate in the amount of power. Both of them are going to be allocated with the same amount of power. When both of them are going to be given the same amount of power, it will be very difficult at the receiver to do the process of SIC. उस पर हम और बात करेंगे, but it is a problematic situation. Okay, but let us understand, there is one kind of the NOMA. This is CR NOMA. And this CR NOMA deals with the same situation. And what is the meaning of the CR NOMA is that, आप इसको cognitive radio NOMA कह सकते हैं. And what is the basic purpose is that, let us say if you find that this is the cell, and in this particular cell, two users are just close by. Both of them have almost the same channel condition. And once the base station is going to allocate power based on the channel condition, that means both of them will be allocated the same amount of power. When both of them are going to be allocated the same amount of power at the receiver, it will be very difficult for the individual users to identify their own signals. In this case, what is going to happen is CR NOMA takes into consideration another parameter, and this parameter is the quality of service. Okay, so if both of them are going to have the same channel condition, amount of power allocated by the base station is the same, but there is a possibility that they will have different quality of service requirements. So if they have different quality of service requirements, on the basis of their requirement of quality of service, they will be differentiated. Okay, so this is going to add one more domain over the NOMA to deal with that situation. आप चाहें तो ये भी सवाल पूछ सकते हैं कि अगर चैनल कंडीशन भी सेम हो गया और क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस भी सेम हो गया तो क्या होगा? क्या होगा बताइए? हो सकता है ना ये भी सिचुएशन, तो फिर क्या होगा? तो कल वाला जवाब आज फिर मैं दे रहा हूं अभी. ठीक है, उसके आगे फिर अभी रिसर्च करने की जरूरत है. ठीक है
सर.
यस,
सीआर कॉग्निटिव रेडियो फिर प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी यूजर्स का क्या डिफरेंस है?
देखिए, इसको हम कॉग्निटिव रेडियो एनेबल्ड नोमा कहते हैं, लेकिन इसके अगर हम डिटेल के अंदर जाएंगे तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट खाली लेता है कॉग्निटिव रेडियो का, बट वी आर नॉट रियली टॉकिंग अबाउट द होल फंक्शनलिटी ऑफ द कॉग्निटिव रेडियो, वेयर वी आर गोइंग टू डील विथ वन प्राइमरी transmitter. It has number of the primary receivers, and in the same area we are going to talk about one secondary transmitter, and it is going to have its own secondary receivers. See, this is not going to deal in such detail related to the primary and secondary, but it is just going to take the concept, क्योंकि ultimately हम differentiate तो कर रहे हैं ना यहाँ पे किसी न किसी basis पे. इसको जो frequency मिली है, if some part of the frequency is not being used by this, then this is allowed to use that part of the frequency. So we are able to make a differentiation, and not only this, but we are able to make one more differentiation here is that this is given preference and this is secondary. Once this requires certain band of frequency, and now being used by this, it has to bucket this. So ultimately, related to this, some concept is being used in NOMA, and then it is going to solve such kind of the problem जो आपने कल पूछा था, ठीक है? Okay, let us understand. यहाँ इसके बाद में अभी हम लोगों ने क्या, इतने सारे यूजर्स हमारे पास हैं, हर एक का चैनल कंडीशन अलग अलग है, सभी का अलग अलग फ्रैक्शन में पावर दिया जा रहा है. This is the individual power, and the power is going to be something like this. We know. Okay, now let us understand. अभी हमने क्या किया है? See, we have not gone to the receiver side. अभी हम ट्रांसमीटर की तरफ ही हैं, लेकिन अभी एक चीज और भी करना है हमें ट्रांसमीटर में. What we need to do? We have n number of users. Every user is assigned different amount of power. Okay, they are encoded, they are combined, and now the combined and composite signal is being transmitted. And this transmitted signal is known as superposed signal. Okay, and what is the superposed signal? This is the superposed signal. X we are going to consider as the signal being transmitted by the base station. Okay, and what is this? You understand, individual powers. Okay, multiply the signal of the individual users. Okay, and when you take I to n, that means this is the superposed signal being transmitted. When you transmit this superposed signal, the job of the base station is finished here. Now the job starts of the individual users. Okay, this signal is going to be transmitted and this signal is going to be received. अभी इसके बारे में थोड़ी देर में मैं बात करता हूँ, but let us finish this part first. So you understand, this is being transmitted. Okay, and this is being received. Okay, I have come to this point once again. So let me tell, when this is going to be received, we need to identify. Yes.
सर ये जो कंपोजिट सिग्नल है, इसके बाद मिस मॉड्यूलेशन जो है इंडिविजुअल सिग्नल करके कंपोजिट सिग्नल बनाएंगे या कंपोजिट सिग्नल का मॉड्यूलेशन?
वो सारा मतलब पहले मॉड्यूलेशन सबका हो चुका है. They are all modulated before. Before we are going to make the composition, they are all modulated. And then we are going to make a composition, then we are transmitting this. Okay. So after this, there is nothing like modulation. If it is to be done, it has to be done before. Not if. Mostly. आपको पता है modulation कहाँ पे करते हैं? See, there are two different kinds of the transmission we are going to use. One is the baseband transmission, and one is the transmission where invariably we are going to use the modulation. And depends कि हमें कहाँ baseband transmission करना है. See, wherever it is possible that the low frequency range on which the data is generated, जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ, maybe 300 to 300, 400 इस particular frequency range में अगर हमारा signal है, if it is possible that it can travel for some distance, see, there is no need to complicate the process, there is no need to do the modulation, but once my voice will not be reaching to Delhi from here, modulation will be really required. So it depends, modulation कहाँ चाहिए. अगर हम modulation नहीं करते हैं, तो उसे हम कहते हैं baseband transmission. Baseband simply means the frequency on which the signal is being generated. Okay, so let us understand, we have this. Now we have transmitted. At the receiver, we are going to receive this signal. Yi is the received signal of one individual user. See, there are a number of users we have assumed, and what are the various components in Yi? When the user is going to receive any signal being transmitted by the base station, the amount of received signal at the user will be having two different components apart from the signal. First component is the channel gain will come into play. See, whatever you have transmitted, let us assume that the channel gain is 0. So whatever is being transmitted, you will receive just nothing. If channel gain is 1, it will never be. So whatever is transmitted, you are going to receive the whole. This is alright? At the same time, you understand, because you have considered that this is the base station and this is going to transmit a signal, so traveling of signal from here to here will add some amount of noise. Okay, so we are going to say that this is the composite signal transmitted, this is the channel gain of the individual user, and this is the noise that is going to be added. And we want to understand the characteristic of this noise, which is going to help us to do some calculation further. This is additive white Gaussian noise. Why additive? Because this noise can be added, and you have seen this is added here. Additive. White Gaussian means it is irrespective of any frequency. And Gaussian means you will find that this is going to have something like, the nature is something like this. That means wherever you take the frequency, you will find that this is going to indicate, irrespective of the frequency, it is always going to give you the same power spectral density. We are going to make this assumption, noise is having this characteristic, additive white Gaussian noise. But two more things we want to add. One is when you take See, any random variable, if you want to describe, see, you need two things. One is the mean value of the random variable and one is the variance. See, mean value is going to say, let us say, this is one of the random variables. Okay, this is going to be represented by this distribution, probability distribution function like this. It resembles to the Gaussian distribution. So if you want to describe any probability density function, if you want to describe any signal that is of probabilistic nature, we need minimum two things. One is mean value. You take the mean and you are going to represent by mean. And on the top of the mean, you are going to represent this by some standard deviation. Or you can take the variance, there is no doubt, but we are going to represent with the help of the standard deviation. Why we do this? Because when you have the mean, and because we are dealing with the random variables, all the time the mean will not be the same. See, sometimes it is going to fall here, sometimes it is going to fall here, sometimes it is going to fall here somewhere. So you need to define the domain that this is the mean we are going to get at one particular experiment. But after that, if we are going to repeat the same experiment, maybe we'll get the same mean, but it will not be exactly the same mean, there will be some variation. And let us say this is the amount of variation we are going to add. So when you club these two together, then it is going to represent the nature of the random variable. This all right? So now let us understand. So either you use the standard deviation or you can use, see, very specifically you can say we are going to talk in terms of the variance. Both of them are going to indicate the same thing. Okay. So let us say we have assumed noise is going to be added. And what is noise? Noise is additive white Gaussian noise with, we assume mean is 0. But why mean is 0 we have assumed? I will signify this, and we have considered some amount of the variance. See, when you consider the mean is 0, that means noise is simply going to be added by indicated by the variance. That's it. And when it is not 0, that means whenever you want to indicate the noise, you have to add the mean value always. Then this is going to indicate the noise. To simplify the process, we have assumed that this is 0. So whatever variance we are going to consider, this is only going to represent the total amount of noise. So noise is here, we can represent the same noise by this. Just to simplify this, we have assumed mean is 0 and this is the variance. Okay, now let us understand why we really need this. What we really need at the receiver. Two things are needed at the receiver. First thing is that individual user has to identify its own signal once it has received the composite signal. इतना सारा चीज उसे मिला है, इसमें से उसे अपने चीज को आइडेंटिफाई करना है और बाकी चीजों को रिजेक्ट कर देना है. See, this is the prime objective of the individual user. And for this, the algorithm the individual user is going to adopt is known as successive interference cancellation. By name itself you understand, successively it is going to identify each user's signal and it is going to eliminate this. Till the time it is going to find its own signal, so this continues the iterative process. Finally, individual user is going to identify its own signal. पहला तो काम ये एक तो काम ये करना है. Okay. Apart from this, what is important is that user must be able to find out its own data rate performance. क्योंकि हमने सिर्फ अपना सिग्नल ही आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, this is not enough. Because see, whenever you want to make the calculation of the system performance, data rate is always going to come into play. Data rate हमें जानना ही है. Individual users का data rate यदि आपको पता चल जाता है, then you can take the composite data rate for all the users in the system, and this is going to signify the system capacity. देखिए सिस्टम कैपेसिटी के बारे में एक बात मैं बताता हूं, then I will proceed further. See, when you talk about the capacity, what is really going to be meaning of the capacity? See, you understand this expression is going to give us the capacity. See, this is going to give us the capacity. When you realize higher capacity, sorry. See, when you realize higher capacity, maybe because of any reason, you increase the bandwidth, you improve the SNR condition, you realize the higher capacity. Once you realize the higher capacity, we have two options to use the higher capacity, the extra amount of capacity. Two options. See, the first option is that, let us say, in the system, we have n number of users. okay, and you have got some extra capacity. The first option is that अगर पहले मान लीजिए हर एक यूजर को हम 10 किलोबिट्स पर सेकेंड के हिसाब से अगर डाटा दे रहे थे, ओके, दैट मींस वी वर रियलाइजिंग ओनली 40 kilobit per second data. We have distributed the same data 10 kilobit each one, and now we have realized this is not 40, but now it has increased to 80 because we have increased the data rate performance for some mechanism. So the very first option we can consider is that every user is now given how much data rate? 20. पहले 10 मिल रहा था, अभी हमारे पास डबल हो गया total system capacity, so every user can be given double of the. What is the impact of this? See, we have always talked, when you increase the data rate performance, when you increase the capacity, it simply means that it is going to improve the quality of service. See, more data in a smaller interval of time, that means you are going to experience much better. Because data rate is going to increase, quality of service is going to increase, user's experience is going to increase. So the very first option is that when you realize higher capacity, every user can receive the same amount of data, the double of the data. Okay, let us say you don't want users to be given double of the data. You want the users to remain at the same data level. What can be done? See, another option is that now in place of 4, you are going to have 8 users now. Whenever we are going to realize higher capacity, there are two possibilities. One is we want to increase the number of, we can increase the number of users, definitely. But for this, what we need to do, we have to keep the data given to individual user as constant. If you keep the number of users as constant, that means you can increase the amount of data given to individual user. These two benefits we can realize at the higher capacity. Now, I want a question to you. I want to ask a question to you. When you realize higher capacity, okay, and let us imagine, आप एक और अपना नाम बताइए, ठीक है, आप इमेजिन कर लीजिए that you are the service provider, ठीक है, अच्छा, आप इमेजिन कर लीजिए you are the user, ठीक है, and we are going to find a situation where the data rate is going to increase, and we have two options. आप बताइए कौन सा ऑप्शन आप चूज करेंगे दोनों में से? आप कौन सा ऑप्शन चूज करेंगे? Okay, I'll repeat my question once again. If you just pay little attention, listening my question, maybe the moment I finish my question, you will be ready with the answer. Okay, my question is, first, my explanation is, once the capacity is going to increase, we can have two different options. In the first option, we can keep the same number of users and we can increase every user's data rate. In the second option, we can keep the same data rate for every user and we can increase the number of users. Two possibilities. अभी आपसे जो मेरा सवाल है वो ये है, आप सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हैं, आप दोनों में कौन सा चूज करेंगे? नंबर ऑफ यूजर बढ़ाएंगे, क्यों? Exactly, this is the answer. और ये जो हमारा बहुत बड़ा फाइटिंग है ना, हमें नहीं पता चलता फाइटिंग का, but there is a big clash. और what is this clash? Clash is that, see, service providers has a very clear-cut aim to maintain the minimum data rate for every user and increase the number of users. क्योंकि जितना ज्यादा यूजर हमारा इंक्रीज होगा, रेवेन्यू हमें उतना ज्यादा मिलेगा. लेकिन हर एक यूजर का क्या डिमांड है बताइए? उसे कोई मतलब नहीं है कि आपके सिस्टम में नंबर ऑफ यूजर बढ़ते हैं कि नहीं बढ़ते हैं. There is no concern. My concern is I want to realize higher and higher data rate. इसका मतलब ये है कि जब दो ऑप्शन हमारे सामने हैं, तो ये वाले ऑप्शन को कौन चूज करेगा? ऑपरेटर चूज करेगा, और इस ऑप्शन को हम एज ए यूजर चूज करेंगे, क्योंकि हमें अच्छी क्वालिटी चाहिए. ठीक है? So let us say when you increase the data rate, we are going to have this. अभी हम कहां पे थे? I want to say when transmission has taken place, every user is going to receive the same signal. Because the transmitted signal is a composite signal and this signal is wirelessly transmitted and the same transmission goes to everyone. Now every user has a responsibility to identify its own signal from the composite signal. This is alright? Now at this particular moment, SIC, successive interference cancellation, is required and this is to be carried out individually by all the users. ऐसा नहीं है कि सक्सेसिव इंटरफेरेंस कैंसिलेशन का मतलब हम सभी का एक साथ करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. See, I have received the full signal, you have received the full signal, you have received the full signal. Your responsibility is you have to eliminate all others. You have to just keep yours. My responsibility is I have to eliminate all others, I have to keep my own. That means simultaneously successive interference cancellation algorithm is running at all the users. लेकिन वो एल्गोरिथम कैसे काम करता है वो समझना हमारे लिए जरूरी है, ठीक है? तो देखिए, अच्छा एक बात तो ये हो गया, दोनों बात मैं बताता हूं, then I will explain. See, first thing is that I have to identify my own signal, and second thing is that once you have decoded your own signal, you need to state, you need to identify what is my data rate performance, and this is going to give the collective data rate for the whole system. This is all right? दो चीज है, तो पहले हम पहली वाली बात करते हैं. Okay, how to really decode your own information out of the complete information, composite information. See, for this, you remember, see, for this, this is the step, this is the algorithm, this is the process for the successive interference cancellation. In this process, what is going to happen is that, let us say, UI, any of the user, just generic name I have given, UI is a user. What it is going to do, the very first thing it is going to do, it is going to decode UM. UI will decode UM, where M is smaller than I. That's it. कल आपको याद होगा हम लोगों ने इस तरीके का डायग्राम बनाया था. क्या बोल रहे? कल एक ऐसा डायग्राम बनाया था हम लोगों ने, रिमेंबर बनाया था कि नहीं बनाया था? लेकिन ऐसा डायग्राम तो मैं वाकई नहीं बनाया था कल. कल तो कहीं पर भी मैंने ये वाला लाइन ही नहीं खींचा था ऐसा, जहां भी बोला था गोली किया था. बट एनीवे, यू नो दैट जो मेन कंटेंट है वो ये वाली बात है जिसके बारे में आप कह रहे हैं, ठीक है? बट एनीवे, सी लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड, इन लास्ट क्लास we discussed as a part of the process for NOMA is that every user is going to carry out the SIC algorithm at its own place. In order to carry out the SIC algorithm, the very first thing we do is, not we do, हर एक यूजर को वो आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है, एक ऑर्डर आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है. ओके, वंस द यूजर इज गोइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई द ऑर्डर, देन ओनली दिस इज गोइंग टू कम. लेकिन ऑर्डर आइडेंटिफाई करने का मतलब क्या है? आई वुड लाइक टू एक्सप्लेन. सी, यू अंडरस्टैंड, द यूजर्स आर स्कैटर्ड हियर एंड देयर इन दिस, ओके, एंड एवरी यूजर इज हैविंग डिफरेंट चैनल कंडीशंस. इफ आई एम गोइंग टू कैरी आउट SIC इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस, तो हमें तो आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा ना कि कौन सा यूजर का चैनल कंडीशन हमसे खराब है और किसका अच्छा है. तो हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा, उसके बेसिस पे हमें एल्गोरिथम करना है. तो उस चीज के लिए every user is going to understand the channel conditions from all of them, उसको बेस स्टेशन से इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रहा है, and it is going to make an order. ठीक है? जब ऑर्डरिंग करेंगे तब आपका ऑर्डर इस तरीके का आएगा. When you do the order is going to be something like this. यहां पे SIC करना है, this individual user is going to carry out SIC, and for this it has ordered all the users based on the channel conditions. This is all right? अभी क्या काम करना है? पहला काम ये करना है कि UI is going to decode UM, and where M is smaller. स्मॉलर कहाँ है I का? अगर ये हमारा I है और ये स्मॉल है, ठीक है, इसका मतलब इसके बाद इधर से कोई भी जो यूजर है, this is going to have M smaller than I, and you understand, इसके बाद इधर का कोई भी यूजर है, देखिए ये 1 है, ये N है, ये तो वैल्यू बड़ा है ना इससे, और इस साइड का वैल्यू छोटा है. तो इसके बाद का इधर का जो भी यूजर है उसके M की वैल्यू उसके अपने से कम है, स्मॉलर देन I, और इस साइड का कोई भी यूजर है उसके M की वैल्यू उसके अपने वैल्यू से बड़ी है. ये कैसे मिला? जब हमने ऑर्डरिंग कर लिया. SIC का पहला स्टेप ये है कि वी हैव टू ऑर्डर, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दिस ऑर्डरिंग वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई व्हिच इज गोइंग टू हैव स्मॉलर देन माय इंटीजर जो भी हम यूज करें कुछ भी, और जो हमसे बड़ा है. तो जैसे इसने आइडेंटिफाई किया, जैसे ऑर्डर कर लिया, then it is going to decode UM where M is smaller than I. मतलब बेस स्टेशन के जहां पर भी मैं हूं, अगर मैं SIC कर रहा हूं, then I have to identify the users from me away from the base station. बेस स्टेशन की तरफ वाला नहीं, ठीक है? उसको डिकोड कर लिया. डिकोड करने के बाद जो भी हमें डिकोड करने के बाद मिला है कंपोजिट सिग्नल से, इट इज गोइंग टू सब्ट्रैक्ट दैट, ठीक है? टू थिंग्स, एंड थर्ड थिंग, इट इज गोइंग टू डिकोड इट्स ओन सिग्नल. क्योंकि इसको अल्टीमेटली अपना ही तो सिग्नल चाहिए ना. Once it is going to decode its own signal, what is remaining? See, let us understand. ये हमारा composite signal है. Okay, in this composite signal, this part is already eliminated. Okay, इतना ही part है, and we are not going to eliminate this. We will not be able to eliminate this because see, they are closer. They are having better channel conditions. We will not be able to eliminate this, but we have found out our own signal. We have decoded our own signal. We are bound that once you are decoding your own signal, you have to consider them as interference. There is no other option. इसको तो हमने eliminate करके हटा दिया. इसके बाद इसको हम interference consider करेंगे. ठीक है? Then decodes its own signal treating UM as interference, and where M is greater than I. ठीक है? इसका मतलब ये है कि यहां से यहां के सिग्नल को ये इसने डिकोड करके एलिमिनेट कर दिया. जो बचा हुआ है उसमें से अपने सिग्नल को डिकोड कर लिया. उसके बाद यहां से यहां वाले सिग्नल को उसने इंटरफेरेंस समझ लिया है बिकॉज इट हैज गॉट नो अदर ऑप्शन एंड देन इट हैज कैलकुलेटेड इट्स ओन डाटा रेट. क्योंकि जब हम इंटरफेरेंस कैलकुलेट करेंगे क्यों करेंगे? हमारा पर्पस दो है ना, एक डिकोडिंग करना है और दूसरा डाटा रेट पता करना है. डिकोडिंग तो कर लिया, उसके बाद चुप हो जाइए, नो प्रॉब्लम. लेकिन अगर आपको डाटा रेट पता करना है तो आपको इंटरफेरेंस कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा. इन दैट केस यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द डाटा रेट फॉर दिस. ठीक है, दो काम हो गया. तो अभी देख लीजिए, डिकोड्स यूएम फॉर दिस, subtract this, decodes own signal treating, and this process continues till it is going to find its own signal. Because when it is going to decode, it does not mean that it is going to decode all of them together from here to here. It is not. अगर all of them एक साथ हो जाता है तो successive interference cancellation does not make any sense for us. See, this is successively individual users का decode कर करके उसे बार बार हटाता रहेगा. Finally, it is going to find its own signal. See, this is the complete process. In this complete process, finally, we want to find out what is the data rate performance for individual users. तो देखिए, जब हम data rate पता करना चाहते हैं तो हमें किस चीज की जरूरत है? See, if we want to find out the data rate, तो हमें ये जानने की जरूरत है, ये सारी चीज जानने की जरूरत है. तो इधर data rate पता चलेगा. In order to simplify this mechanism, we are going to make one small assumption. And assumption is that we are going to nullify this. And in order to nullify this, ये पूरे के पूरे सिस्टम को हमने मान लिया कि this is not there. This is 1. Not there का मतलब 1 ही है ना, क्योंकि ये तो multiplying factor है. So we have considered that this is 1 kilohertz. Just for our any value we can consider. So we have simply assumed that this is 1 kilohertz. When you consider this is 1 kilohertz, that means this is simply going to be vanished. When it is not there, then the data rate calculation is going to depend on these three things only. बैंडविड्थ से हमें कोई मतलब नहीं है. अभी इनको यूज करके हर एक इंडिविजुअल यूजर अपना डाटा रेट कैलकुलेट करेगा. अभी आगे बढ़ने के पहले एक सवाल मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं. See, let us say this user is going to calculate the data rate of its own performance. S इसका क्या होगा, N क्या होगा और I क्या होगा? आप बताइए. UI is the user who is going to calculate its data rate performance, and scenario is this. UI is here and it is to calculate. तो देखिए सिग्नल क्या होगा? सिग्नल, whatever signal is going to come to this. जो कुछ भी पावर हमने ट्रांसमिट किया है, सिग्नल क्या होगा? सिग्नल का मतलब ये है, see, if you have transmitted, अगर बेस स्टेशन ने X ट्रांसमिट कर दिया, ठीक है, और अगर एक इंडिविजुअल यूजर ने अगर YI रिसीव कर लिया, अगर मान लीजिए, तो YI के अंदर क्या चीज है? See, you understand, जो X है, where from it is coming with the combination of the fraction of power decided by the base station and the signal content in this. देखिए, ये हो गया total fraction of power and this is the signal content. तो हर एक इंडिविजुअल यूजर के पास एक सिग्नल कंटेंट होगा. तो वो वाला सिग्नल कंटेंट मान लीजिए हमने यहां पे लिखना है. ठीक है, सिग्नल कंटेंट कितना होगा हम बात करेंगे उस पर. उसके बाद हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना है कितना नॉइज होगा, कितना इंटरफेरेंस होगा हर एक इंडिविजुअल यूजर के लिए. तो हम नॉइज कहां से लेकर के आएंगे? नॉइज हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी डिफाइन कर दिया है. सी, वी आर टॉकिंग एट द रिसीवर साइड, क्योंकि हर एक इंडिविजुअल यूजर की बात कर रहे हैं. तो ये हमारा रिसीव सिग्नल है. नॉइज हमने ऑलरेडी आइडेंटिफाई कर दिया है, ये है. और ये नॉइज कितना है? हमने उसके मीन को 0 मान लिया है, तो नॉइज हमारा ये है. इसका मतलब ये है कि जो नॉइज होगा, यहां पे जो नॉइज आने वाला है, दिस नॉइज इज गोइंग टू बी दिस क्वांटिटी, इज इट नॉट? यही तो होगा. और ये सिग्नल है कि नहीं? क्यों? सिग्नल इसलिए है क्योंकि दिस इज द चैनल कंडीशन एंड दिस इज द पावर बीइंग ट्रांसमिटेड। अभी हम यहाँ की बात करते हैं, जनरलाइज बात कर लेते हैं। सी दिस इज द चैनल कंडीशन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल यूजर एंड दिस इज द पावर बीइंग ट्रांसमिटेड टू द इंडिविजुअल यूजर। तो जो कुछ भी उसको रिसीव होगा किस पे होगा? जितना पावर हम ट्रांसमिट कर रहे हैं और जितना लॉस हो रहा है उसके बाद जो बचेगा वही तो सिग्नल है उसका। तो ये पावर हमने ट्रांसमिट किया और ये वाला उसका चैनल कंडीशन है। व्हेन यू टेक द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दीस टू इट इज गोइंग टू डिसाइड द अमाउंट ऑफ सिग्नल रिसीव्ड बाय द यूआई। ठीक है, तो ये मिल गया। अब हमें क्या देखना है? 1 प्लस एस आई एन, यही तो है ना। तो एस मिल गया हमें, 1 प्लस लिखा हुआ है। अब हमें देखना है एन को, तो हमने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, दिस इज द एन। अब हमें आई को आइडेंटिफाई करना है। आई कहां से आएगा? सी आई इज गोइंग टू कम फ्रॉम दिस साइड। हम लोगों ने बार डिस्कस किया है, इसको तो हटा दिया, लेकिन रेट को कैलकुलेट करने के लिए इसको तो हमें इंटरफेरेंस मानना ही पड़ेगा ना। अगर इसको हम इंटरफेरेंस मानते हैं तो किसे इंटरफेरेंस मानते हैं? आई से तो कैलकुलेशन नहीं होगा, बिकॉज आई इज गोइंग टू मेक ए कैलकुलेशन। सो इंटरफेरेंस हैज टू बी ऑलवेज ग्रेटर देन, इट मींस आई प्लस 1। यहां से होगा, कहां तक होगा? मान लीजिए हमने इसको एन माना हो, के माना हो, जितना भी माना हो। सो लेट अस से ये तो इंडिविजुअल को पावर हमने एलोकेट किया है, वो आ गया। इंटरफेरेंस कैसे आता है? लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड। सी व्हेन यू से दैट this is one of the base station, this is another base station, this is transmitting power to its own user and this is transmitting power to its own user, but its power may go to this. ये तो इंटरफेरेंस है। So when you talk about this interference, that means you need to consider the power being transmitted. जो power इसको transmit किया गया है, after traveling this distance, signal is going to be received here, but the same power is traveling to this distance and the interference is going to be received here. ठीक है? तो अभी देखिए इसे इंटरफेरेंस कहां से मिल रहा है? अपने से जितने भी बड़े वाले यूजर्स हैं, बड़े का मतलब है क्लोजर टू द बेस स्टेशन। सी इट इज गोइंग टू रिसीव इंटरफेरेंस फ्रॉम देम। सो वी हैव सेड, लेट अस से k is the number of users after this. So k is basically I plus 1. We are going to start with this and it is going to go n तक चला जाएगा। मतलब सारे यूजर्स को हमने कंसीडर कर लिया। और क्या कंसीडर किया है? सी फ्रैक्शन ऑफ पावर, हर एक का फ्रैक्शन ऑफ पावर तो डिसाइड कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, उसी पे तो हमारा इंटरफेरेंस डिसाइड हो रहा है। So this is going to talk about the interference part and this is going to talk about the noise part and this complete is going to talk about the signal to noise plus interference. Yes?
Sir, I think it should be PK,
कौन सा पीके होना चाहिए?
summation के अंदर।
समीशन के अंदर ये तो के ही है।
नहीं, it is beta K.
हाँ, एक्चुअली फ्रैक्शन ऑफ पावर जो है ना, हमने ऐसे बी और बीटा में देखने में
Sir, I think बीटा तो वो फ्रैक्शन है
हाँ।
जिससे पावर
P का ही तो-
कैलकुलेट हो रही है इंडिविजुअल पावर।
हाँ बिल्कुल सही है।
So that is a fractional number.
हाँ, तो ये बी की कौन सी क्वांटिटी हो गई? वो जो इंडिविजुअल यूजर है वही हो रहा है ना।
It should be power ना।
पावर तो हमने कहाँ लिया है?
दोनों
Okay,
मल्टीप्लाई
sir.
करके
Okay.
पावर तो हमने यहाँ कैलकुलेट कर लिया है ना एक्चुअली।
Sir, then HI should be inside the summation.
ये जरूरी नहीं है एक्चुअली। आप सोचिए, थोड़ा ध्यान से दीजिएगा, ध्यान से देखिए आप। सी एच आई, क्योंकि ये तो इंडिविजुअल वेरिएशन तो हो ही रहा है ना हमारा यहाँ पे, और इंडिविजुअल यूजर की जब आप बात करें तो समीशन के अंदर तो ये आएगा ही नहीं। क्यों आएगा? जैसे आप ith यूजर की बात करते हैं, ith यूजर यू आर सिंपली गोइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई एट दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट। समीशन यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा। समीशन कहाँ आएगा? i के बाद जितने हैं समीशन वहीं तो आएगा ना। तो इसलिए i हैज टू बी आउट ऑफ द समीशन एंड जो k है i प्लस 1 ऑनवर्ड्स टिल n। ठीक है, ओके। तो अभी देखिए अपना इसने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, करने के बाद अपना डाटा रेट आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है। दिस इज व्हाट द डाटा रेट इज। लेकिन डाटा रेट की वजह हम यहाँ पे इसको स्पेक्ट्रल एफिशिएंसी इसलिए बोल सकते हैं बिकॉज वी हैव नॉर्मलाइज्ड विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द बैंडविड्थ। बैंडविड्थ इज अज्यूम्ड टू बी 1 किलोहर्ट्ज और मे बी 1 एज क्वांटिटी। ओके, नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड। अगर मान लीजिए कि ये जो सिचुएशन है इसमें लेट अस से इट हैज टू कैलकुलेट इट्स डाटा रेट। अभी कैसे करेगा कैलकुलेट? See, one component is going to be completely missing here. वो component कौन सा है? Data rate calculate करने के लिए तो हमें यही calculate करना ही है। S has to be there, there is no doubt. Okay, noise has to be there, noise तो है ही है। Okay, अब interference पे question है कि इसके लिए interference है कि नहीं है। बोलिए interference होगा कि नहीं होगा? नहीं होगा।
उसके बाद कोई है ही नहीं।
उसके बाद कोई नहीं है, क्योंकि इंटरफेरेंस का कंडीशन यही है कि जहां पे मैं खड़ा हूं मेरे से बेस स्टेशन की तरफ जितने भी यूजर हैं वो हमें इंटरफेयर करेंगे। अगर जहां मैं खड़ा हूं मेरे पास बेस स्टेशन की तरफ कोई भी नहीं है, इसका मतलब हमें कोई इंटरफेयर नहीं कर रहा है। सो इन दिस केस यू विल फाइंड दैट, कहां चला गया? सी दिस इज द पावर, दिस इज द सिग्नल टू nth वन, लास्ट वन, और सीधा नॉइज आ गया, इंटरफेरेंस है ही नहीं। सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड two things are very important. We need to decode our own signal, then we need to find out the data rate. ये mechanism यही है, basic formula यही है. Data rate, you talk in terms of data rate, capacity, spectral efficiency. This is simply depending on the environment. And what is environment? SINR is the indication of the environment. SINR बहुत खराब है, environment बहुत ही खराब है. Means whatever you transmit, you will not be able to receive. If SINR is good, the wireless environment is good, whatever you transmit, you are going to receive. So ये काम हो गया. Now we want to really see its form in simpler way. Simplify करने के लिए क्या है हमारे पास ऑप्शन? हमने यहाँ से स्टार्ट किया था. We are going to consider one cell and two users. तो डिस्कशन हमारा अभी जो कुछ था, this is based on this situation, one cell n number of users. Now we want to clarify the concept what we have discussed. This clarity will come when we are going to take just two users. ठीक है? तो अभी देखिए जब दो यूजर हमारे पास है तो सिचुएशन क्या है? सिचुएशन इज समथिंग लाइक दिस. एक यूजर हमारा यहां पर है, दूसरा यूजर हमारा यहां पर है. इसको हमने U2 बोल दिया, नजदीक वाला. इसको हमने U1 बोल दिया. ठीक है? आगे है. ठीक है. As a new technology for the purpose of 5G. So when you look at all the topics of the workshop, okay, looking at all the topics, you would appreciate that NOMA is a topic that is entirely different from all of them. And nowadays, whatever workshops are going to be conducted, are being conducted related to 5G, they are focusing more on NOMA. You are aware of this. Okay. So it is my prime objective that we want to understand primarily what NOMA is, and we want to understand the basic operation of NOMA. See, with this intention, I gave a lecture on that day, but I could not be really satisfied because I realized that the basic concepts of NOMA could not be delivered very properly. And this is the reason that I decided I will not use the slide, but I will take the help of the board, and then I am going to explain the concept of NOMA. Okay. And today, before lunch, we are going to discuss just NOMA. Why? In my session, my prime focus is to discuss NOMA. If time permits, I will discuss something related to the channel parameters also, if time permits. After tea break, one person has come from Bangalore, from Nokia, and he is going to discuss about NOMA. Okay, but initially I kept his lecture first, and then my lecture was on after the tea break. But right now I have changed this because he is going to discuss about one step further about NOMA. If we are going to discuss this fundamental, it will be easier for us to understand him. If you understand him first and then you are going to discuss with me, then it will be slightly opposite. So I have just now changed that. First I am going to discuss and then he will discuss after the tea break. So you understand what we are going to talk. We are going to talk about a newer technology we are going to use for the purpose of multiple access technique for 5G, and this is NOMA, non-orthogonal multiple access. Okay. Now let us understand where is the variation, where is the division. We understand. See, when you really talk about the multiple access technique used so far, you know, FDMA, TDMA, CDMA, hybrid, a combination of these, or FDMA, something like this. Okay. So let us understand what is really going to happen is, when you talk about FDMA, see, if you take this side as the frequency and you take this side as the time, in FDMA we are going to have division something like this. We know. See, these are well known to us. See, when you talk about TDMA, you understand we are going to have the same block, and in this same block now the division, this is time and this is frequency, so we are going to have division something like this. Okay. When you talk about the CDMA, we know we are going to allocate the whole frequency to the user, and we are going to allocate the whole duration of time to the user, but we are going to have division. See, what is the basic purpose of any multiple access technique is that we want to distinguish user very clearly. There should not be any confusion. Okay. So on this, what we have decided is that we are going to have division on the basis of the code, and we are going to add another dimension here. So you understand this is the dimension we have added for CDMA, and this is the code domain. We know this is the frequency domain, we know this is the time domain. We have not made any division in frequency domain and time domain for CDMA. Complete frequency for the whole duration of time is allocated to one user, but users are differentiated on the basis of the codes we have assigned to them. This is the basic thing we know. But we want to depart from this orthogonal multiple access technique. Why it is orthogonal, all of you understand, because once you are going to allocate this frequency to one user, and you are going to allocate this frequency to another user, because these two users are going to operate on two different frequencies, there will not be any interference between them. Automatically, orthogonal multiple access technique is going to take care of the interference management. We don't need any interference management here. When you are going to allocate different times, there will be no interference. When you are going to allocate on different codes, there will be no interference. So basically, they do not really demand any kind of interference management. This is the very basic thing related to the orthogonal multiple access technique, and so far we have used this. But for 5G, it has been considered that once you are going to use this, you will be limited in number of users. You understand? See, if you have divided this in number of times, let us say you have divided in n number of times, that means at one particular point of time, you can support n number of users only. If n plus 1 user is going to come into the system, this will be denied the service because no frequency band is left for this. Exactly the same way this is going to happen. If there are n number of codes and more than n users are going to come, see the n plus 1 user, the first user, is going to be denied with the service because we are limited number. Okay. NOMA says that theoretically there is no limitation on the number of users you can support. And how it is going to function, let us understand. Let us take any case. Let us say we are going to talk about this particular case. When you talk about this particular case, we can represent this something like this. See, this is okay, I will use this place. See, let us say when you take about any one of the case, let us say this is the scale, this is one of the axes, this is another axis, and you can say that simply we are going to make allocation something like this. जैसे मान लीजिए हमने कहा इसको टाइम रखा था, but anyway, no problem for our understanding. Let us say this is time and this is frequency. It is all the same, does not matter. What I really want to say is, users are going to be assigned different frequencies. ठीक है? Okay, इस टाइम को भी हटा दीजिए आप, सिर्फ आप फ्रीक्वेंसी रख लीजिए इसी डोमेन में. Okay, let us say we are just going to consider about the frequency. We will just take the reference of this. अलग अलग फ्रीक्वेंसी दिखाई दे रहा है सब बैंड का. Here we are going to say that these blocks are going to represent different frequency bands for different users. Now what we are going to do, see, in case of the orthogonal multiple access technique, when using frequency division multiple access, see, this one is going to be allocated to how many users? 1. See, this is going to be allocated to another user 1, this is allocated to one user, this is allocated to one user, and this is how the number of divisions are going to create the limitation on the number of users. This is the concept of NOMA. In NOMA what we do, if this is the frequency allocated to one user, now we are going to permit this frequency to be allocated to n number of users. We are going to allocate this frequency to n number of users, n number of users, n number of users. So what is the difference? Difference is, let us say in the first case we have taken this division to support 4 users. Now we are going to take this division to support 4 multiplied by n number of users. Things are there to understand here, but primarily there are number of users we can support, since you can call this as resource block. Frequency is a resource, time is a resource, power is a resource. So when you say this as a frequency is a resource, so you can say this small chunk of the frequency is a resource block. In case of OMA, one resource block is allocated to one and only one user. But in case of NOMA, we are going to allocate the same resource block to more than one number of users. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as much as is possible by the interference management technique. Okay. So one thing is clear, that now the capacity is not limited to the number of divisions. You can realize any number of any amount of capacity. But this capacity is going to depend on what? You understand, when you are going to allocate the same resource chunk to more than one user, it is going to create interference. You know this. See, when we are going to apply NOMA, we very well understand if the same resource chunk is going to be given to more than one user, they are going to create interference. We know very well. And we have not used this concept so far, although this concept is known for many, many years. We have not used this because we wanted to avoid the complexity. The next speaker has also come here. So, अभी मैं इसको wind up करता हूँ. I'll finish this. So let us understand, in order to make the concept even more clear, we are going to take a simpler case. In this case, we will not consider n number of users, we are going to consider 2 users only. And when you talk about the 2 users, the scenario is going to be like this. This is user 2 and this is user 1. ये तो है ना सिनेरियो? 2 users.
एक डाउट पूछूं?
हाँ, जरूर जरूर पूछिए.
मतलब हमारे पास चैनल कंडीशन है, सब कुछ है, नॉइज पता है,
हाँ.
तो मतलब जो U1 है,
हाँ.
उसका डाटा रेट कम होगा सबसे, और जो UN है उसका डाटा रेट सबसे ज्यादा होगा, अगर ऐसी भी स्थिति है तो मतलब, या नॉइज इक्वल है सब में?
देखिए, कल एक लाइन मैंने यहाँ पढ़ने के लिए बोला था, उसको मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूँ. See, users are having different location. Based on the different locations, they are going to have different channel conditions. But this is not going to define the signal to noise ratio. Channel conditions alone is not going to decide the signal to noise ratio. Signal to noise ratio will be divided by the amount of power it is going to receive from the base station. Base station gives different amount of power to all of them. And when you want to calculate the capacity, see, this is going to be depending on the SNR. तो जिसको जितना पावर मिला है उसके बेसिस पे उसका S डिसाइड होगा, और इंटरफेरेंस का तो हमें पता चली गया. तो इसलिए see, this is not true, not at all true that whichever is closer to the base station will get the highest power. This is not true. It will depend on the, will get the highest channel, highest data rate. This is not true. It will depend on the power it is going to receive, and this power it is going to receive will decide the amount of S, and then N और I हमें मालूम पहले से ही है, वैसे होगा. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब है ना जो नजदीक में उसका डाटा रेट हमेशा ज्यादा होगा. इसी
N तो ऑलमोस्ट सबके लिए सेम ही होगा ना, जितने यूजर्स एक सेल में हैं,
हाँ.
उनके लिए N ऑलमोस्ट एक जैसा नहीं होगा.
नहीं, N का मतलब यहाँ पर तो ये है ना सर कि जैसे 10 हमारे पास यूजर हैं, तो हमने N बराबर 10 हो गया. तो N मतलब N only decides the number of users. That's it. N only number of users कोई बता रहा है. लेकिन जब
N मींस वो नहीं,
हाँ.
ये सिग्मा N स्क्वायर जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, या WI की बात कर रहे हैं, नॉइज.
हाँ, noise is going to be same for all. Because see, when you look at this, you will find, देखिए ये देखने के बाद एकदम क्लियर पता चल जाएगा कि जब आप डाटा रेट किसी भी यूजर की बात करते हैं, this is always going to same. इसमें कोई चेंज ही नहीं है. अगर ये डिपेंड कर रहा है तो किस पे डिपेंड कर रहा है? जो सिग्नल हम रिसीव, जो टोटल सिग्नल हमें मिल रहा है और जो इंटरफेरेंस हम एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं उसी पे है. नॉइज तो आप सही कह रहे हैं, नॉइज इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी कांस्टेंट. ठीक है, ओके. तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि इफ यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड, ज्यादा क्लैरिटी के साथ हम विजुअलाइज करना चाहते हैं कि नोमा कैसे काम कर रहा है, वी आर गोइंग टू कंसीडर 2 यूजर्स. अभी देखिए, जब ये दोनों यूजर हैं तो आप ये बताइए कि SIC किसको करना है, किसको नहीं करना है. Which is going to do SIC? See, if we have 2 users, out of these 2 users, one user has to perform SIC and the other user need not to do SIC. अब बताइए, यूजर 1 करेगा जो कि नजदीक में है वो SIC करेगा कि यूजर 2 है जो दूर में वो करेगा? यस, दो वाला करेगा. पता नहीं, मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ कौन सा करेगा. थोड़ा सोचिए, थोड़ा और क्लैरिटी के साथ. ओके, यस. सी, लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड, यूजर विच इज क्लोज हैज टू परफॉर्म SIC, क्योंकि SIC का जो प्रोसेस है उसमें जो पहला स्टेप है वो ये है, इट हैज टू डिकोड द सिग्नल लोअर देन दिस एंड इट हैज टू एलिमिनेट. इसके आगे तो कोई भी सिग्नल नहीं, चैनल कंडीशन लोअर नहीं है. इसका मतलब इसको तो एलिमिनेट किसी को करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, मतलब इसको SIC नहीं करना है.
सर,
यस,
सर उल्टा है.
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं है उल्टा. सही है, उल्टा नहीं है. खूब सोच सोच के मैंने दिमाग में बैठाया है इसको, तो मुझे लगता है उल्टा तो नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है, तो देखिए SIC का मतलब यही है ना कि हमसे जो छोटे वाले हैं, जिनके चैनल गेन हमसे कम है, उनको डिकोड करके हमने हटा दिया.
ओके सर, ठीक है.
Yes.
सर मैं उल्टा सोच रहा था.
हाँ.
जो इंटरफेरेंस वाला टर्म है वो उसमें आएगा, इसमें नहीं आएगा।
यस, दिस इज राइट। तो देखिए, इसको करने की जरूरत नहीं है SIC, क्योंकि इसके आगे इधर कोई नहीं है। इसको करने की जरूरत है क्योंकि इसके आगे ये है। अब ये क्या करेगा, when it is going to perform SIC, it will decode the signal of this user and it will eliminate the signal from the composite one and then it will decode its own signal. This is all right. और इसको क्या करना है, इसके आगे कोई है ही नहीं, इसका मतलब इसको किसी को तो हटाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। Now it is going to decode directly its own signal. That's it. तो वैसे हालत में अगर आप डाटा रेट की बात करें, yes.
एक्चुअली मैंने आंसर ये कर दिया कि ये जो रेट कैलकुलेट करेगा तो इंटरफेरेंस के इनपुट को काउंट कंसीडर करेगा। तो
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, मैं समझ रहा हूँ। कंफ्यूज होने वाली जगह वही है जहाँ पे आप कंफ्यूज हुए हैं, ठीक है, क्योंकि हमें ये देखना है ना कि इंटरफेरेंस किसका हम ले रहे हैं, तो वहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है।
कंफ्यूजन नहीं था, मैं कुछ आंसर पूछ रहा था।
ठीक है, बट यू एग्री व्हाट स्टेटमेंट आई हैव मेड इज राइट? गुड। तो देखिए अभी क्या है ना, जब दो यूजर है तो हमें दोनों का रेट पता करना है। तो दोनों का रेट पता करने के लिए R1 कौन सा यूजर है, जो दूर वाला यूजर है, ठीक है। उल्टा हो गया क्या? एक मिनट, नहीं उल्टा नहीं होगा,
सर एकदम
सही है, उल्टा हो ही नहीं सकता है, क्योंकि देखिए जो नजदीक वाला यूजर है उसके लिए इंटरफेरेंस नहीं है, सिंपल। जो दूर वाला यूजर इंटरफेरेंस उसी के लिए है ना, तो जो ये नजदीक वाला यूजर है इसमें कहाँ आ रहा है इंटरफेरेंस, ठीक है, और जो दूर वाला यूजर है उसमें इंटरफेरेंस आ रहा है, ठीक है।
सर जो नजदीक वाला है उसने SIC करके इंटरफेरेंस को हटा ही दिया, मतलब
हाँ,
जो
बिल्कुल।
होने वाला है उसको हटा दिया।
रिकॉर्ड
हाँ बोलिए फिर से बोलिए।
नहीं सर, जो U2 है उसके जो इस साइड पे
हाँ।
है उन सबको
वो हटा ही दिया उसको।
कोड करके हटा ही दिया।
हाँ।
तो जब रेट कैलकुलेट करेगा तो उसका इफेक्ट रहेगा ही नहीं।
उसका इफेक्ट नहीं रहेगा, बिल्कुल ठीक है। तो देखिए अभी हमें ये जानने की जरूरत है, हम नोमा खूब चिल्लाते हैं, I don't know how much NOMA is going to help us. Reason is, अभी तक जितना भी काम NOMA पे हुआ है वो दो यूजर से आगे बढ़ ही नहीं पाए। अगर दो यूजर से आगे नहीं बढ़ पाए हैं, इसका मतलब यह है कि जो कैपेसिटी है हमारा उसका डबल ही हो सकता है, 3 गुना 4 गुना तो हो नहीं सकता है। दूसरी बात यह है कि NOMA says that with the help of NOMA you can realize unlimited capacity. There is no boundary upper boundary on this. कैसे? अब 2 से ज्यादा पे आज तक काम ही नहीं हो पाया है, ठीक है, अभी काम चल रहा है, ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने आज बोल दिया तो अभी कोई कर नहीं रहा होगा, ऐसी बात नहीं है, वर्क इज स्टिल गोइंग ऑन। तो अभी 2 से ज्यादा यूजर, बहुत सारी चीजें इस पे काम चल रही हैं, ठीक है। मौका मिलेगा तो मैं आपको थोड़ी देर के बाद, अभी तो ब्रेक करना है मुझे, सी इफ देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी वी कैन डिस्कस अबाउट व्हाट आर द रिसर्च पॉसिबिलिटीज। मिनिमम 7-8 ऐसी चीजें एकदम क्लियरली, अभी मुझे नहीं बताने की जरूरत पड़ेगी इसमें रिसर्च किस पे करना, आप बताना शुरू कर देंगे 2 मिनट के बाद, लेकिन ब्रेक के बाद ही बात करेंगे, अगर समय मिलेगा तो, नहीं तो बात अभी नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है। तो मैं ये कह रहा था, अगर हम नोमा यूज करते हैं और हम बात कर रहे हैं कि कितना फोल्ड बढ़ाना है हमें कैपेसिटी, बहुत फोल्ड, ठीक है, तो नोमा से तो नहीं होगा जब तक कि हम नोमा को रियली एन तक लेकर के नहीं आएंगे। एन तक ले जाने का सिचुएशन आज तक अभी तक नहीं बना है, ठीक है। अगर हम ले जा पाते हैं तो ठीक है, बनेगा, लेकिन अभी जो रियल में कैपेसिटी हमारी जो बढ़ने की संभावना जहां पे है ना, वो है मिलीमीटर वेव कम्युनिकेशन से। और अगर आप मिलीमीटर वेव कम्युनिकेशन की बात करें तो अभी अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड दे हैव रियली lost the track. कैसे लॉस कर दिया? See, when you talk of the millimeter wave communication, you understand 30 gigahertz से लेकर के ऊपर की जो फ्रीक्वेंसी है up to 300 gigahertz, we call these as the millimeter wave. ठीक है? Across the world, they have chosen frequency range. They have chosen even below 6 gigahertz. और उन्होंने 3.2 और 3.4 जो है ना, ये gigahertz उन्होंने चूज कर लिया है for the implementation of 5G. And let me tell you, this is not going to help us to realize the required data rate in 5G. ठीक है, मैं एक दिन कह रहा था कि जो कुछ भी हम बना लेंगे, हम कंपेयर करेंगे जो आज हमारे पास है, उससे बेटर है तो उसको हम 5G बोल देंगे, तो 5G कल आ जाएगा, आज भी आ सकता है। लेकिन जिस रूप में ITU ने 5G को डिफाइन किया है, उस रूप में 5G कब आएगा, कुछ भी नहीं कहा जा सकता है, ठीक है। So with this, we are going to break for tea.